وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا، اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا زدنا علما يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. آمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله. كيف حالكم؟ In the previous lesson we looked at the theme of the surahs, and then we looked at also the structure of surahs. I was going to end there, but then I realized we had 2 lessons left, so I thought let's just continue this theme, and then we can also benefit from that as well, inshallah. So if you're looking at the themes of a surah, what's one level higher than the surah? So you have like a word level, then you have an ayah level, then you have like a paragraph level, then you have a surah level. What's the higher level? Okay, juz, obviously those things are actually, let's say, human divisions to make it memorization easier and making reading easier. Those are all added. So the next level beyond all those other divisions is going to be Quran now. Okay, so now we're going to discuss the themes of the Quran in general. So what I wanted to do is, inshallah we'll hopefully get the projector on now, is that I wanted to, instead of just telling you these are the themes, how will we know what the themes are? If someone asks you what's the themes of the Quran, how do you know what the themes are? You'll have to either read the whole Quran yourself and then categorize the verses and then check, okay, I got this 6 or 7 or 10 themes, and you must try to then push every or allocate every verse to a theme. But obviously the scholars that before have done this. So I wanted to refer you actually that in your, I don't know if you ever saw it before, but in your DNSI lessons folder, in your Mizan folder online, there is a thing called further reading. Did you see it before? You saw it before? I want to ask now, did you open it, did you read it? I'm just saying, did you see the folder before? Did you just see the folder? No, that's the first step. You know, you can't like go anywhere else, but first see the folder before you maybe like, oh, there's a few books in there and articles, and okay, maybe I must read a few things in there. Okay, can you put the lights on so please? Ibrahim, can you put the lights on please? Okay, so let me just go through some of these things here which I think is useful for you. So basically, okay, so all the things first, there's all divine speech stuff. If you want some holiday reading, there's a lot of divine speech stuff there. You can read in holidays and articles, you can become a guru on these things. But let's go to the themes of the Quran. The themes of the Quran are basically scholars who have read the Quran and studied the Quran and then have deduced from there certain themes. So this is not by no means an exhaustive list. I actually wanted you as a homework to Google themes of the Quran and see who has resources on what the themes of the Quran are. But these are going to be some of the more famous, well-known scholars. So the first scholar, and you always hear his name, is, which scholar did he have to mention now? Which scholars do the teachers most frequently quote? Not for tafsir in terms of general scholar. Who is it? Khazali. Generally, in any discussion, because Khazali is that when you talk about Aqidah, you call Khazali. You talk about Usul fiqh, Khazali. You talk about fiqh, Khazali. You talk about Quran, Khazali. Spirituality, Khazali. You know what you call a polymath. And polymath means a master of many sciences. And he was such a master that he became like a master of many sciences. Normally you're like a Qira'ah master, you're a fiqh master, you're a Aqidah master. So generally any Islamic discussion, Khazali's name is going to come up somewhere. Because he's just a master. The only field, maybe not is hadith, but in every other field he's considered to be a master of the science. So he writes a book called The Jewels of the Quran. Obviously in Arabic this is a translation of it. So I don't know, I read this book and just like the introduction blew my mind. I won't read it now, but I would like you to, at the beginning of the book is that he, on this page 21, He says the aims of the Quran, which like some sort of like the themes, and its valuables are 6 kinds. So page 21 you should read the whole book, I mean, obviously, but students always want what chapters coming in the test, so I don't know, just read this page 21, and then he speaks about the 6 aims of the Quran. So he says the first division, then he'll carry on and he'll do the second division, and the 10 sciences. So if you read this is his view of the Quran. So what I'm going to ask you, actually, I just think of Quran verse here, is if you can just do a summary of what his themes are. But just the way that the way Ghazali writes, he's like, I'll just read you a few, you just read him. He's just like, he comes there, he sort of makes hamd and salawat, and he just comes to just attacks you directly. He says, and he's still talking to scholars now, I then wish to rouse you from your sleep. This is he's writing for scholars generally. Like, all of you are asleep, I want to rouse you from your sleep. Oh, you who's recited the Quran to a great length. Who is he talking to? Those who recite the Quran. Who take its study as an occupation. Your job is to study the Quran. Who imbibe some of its outward meanings and sentences. Later he tells scholars, those of you who have some of its outward meanings and sentences, then he tells the scholars, how long will you ramble on the shore of the ocean? How long will you be on the shore of the ocean, closing your eyes to the wonders of the meanings of the Quran? He's saying the scholars who study their life in the Quran, what are you guys doing on the shore looking at the ocean? There's the ocean. Then he says, was not your duty to sail to the midst of the fathomless ocean of these meanings in order to see their wonders? Like, why are you scholars spending time on the ocean? Why don't you get into a boat and sail to the middle of this ocean? To travel to their islands in order to gather their best produce, to dive into their depths so that you might become rich by obtaining their jewels. Do you not feel ashamed of being deprived of their pearls and jewels by your persistence in looking at their shores and outward appearances? Now Ghazali, when you read him, this is how he writes. And obviously for someone to write like this, 2 scholars, you must be like a O. You know what I mean? You must be like a main O to write to everybody else. But this is how Ghazali writes. He makes you feel like he takes you down, and then he tells you this is the way. It's actually very difficult to read because he doesn't like mince his words with you. Like he's telling the scholars that you're just like, you're on the ocean here, you're on the shore here. You're like worried about the shore, you didn't even get into the boat, you didn't go to the island, you didn't even dive into the ocean, you're on the shore here. It has not come to your knowledge that the Quran is like an ocean, and that it is from that the sciences of the ancients and the moderns branch off, just as rivers and brooks branch off from their shores of an ocean. Why do you not emulate those people who waded through their waves and thus gained red brimstone, dived into the depths and thus drew out corundum? This is all like going to be like treasures from the ocean, shining pearls and green chrysolite, traveled along the coast and thus gathered grey and fresh blooming aloe and became attached to the islands. So he's basically speaking about people who basically find treasures in the ocean. Ghazali's kind of message to the ummah and to the scholars was that you are occupied with outside sciences. You are occupied with the shell of the sciences. You haven't understood the depth and the reality of the sciences. And you are preoccupied with like certain like questions about this and that and mas'alas and fiqh and this and that. You don't know a real understanding of things. And that's why he's, I heard Hamza Yusuf say that some people say that no one can understand Ghazali except Ghazali. That no one has been able to understand him since he was alive. Because no one has reached his level. Now you think this must be really now exaggeration. This is even what non-Muslim scholars say about him. People consider him to be the greatest scholar, many people, after the Prophet ﷺ. Not in terms of piety of the Sahaba, we're not saying that in terms of piety and rank with Allah, we're talking about like knowledge. In terms of like knowledge of deen, people consider him to be sometimes second in terms of knowledge, sciences to Like he's the greatest man in Islam since the Prophet ﷺ. I'm not saying this is agreed upon, but I'm saying this is the kind of praise people say about him. So don't deprive yourself of reading Ghazali because he's just on a different level. He's just on a different level. In fact, okay, anyway. Yeah, Ghazali, he studied like the philosophers, then he wrote a textbook on their teachings, which became the textbook to teach philosophy from. And then he wrote a refutation of his own work. Because he said the philosophers teach this. He listed all the stuff down. That became a textbook for the philosophers. Then he wrote a refutation of that textbook, which he wrote, but they still kept that as their textbook. And he wrote a refutation of it. He was just a phenomenal, unbelievable person. So generally I always try to just, I don't know, you can't even say study Ghazali, you just have to read a few pages of Ghazali. Because it's just, I mean, his works are in the hundreds of works that he has left behind. So what I'm saying is that for you, just read the introduction of this book. It will just give you some perception of this book. The second one is going to be Al-Fawz al-Kabir fi Usul al-Tafsir by Shah Waliullah Dahlawi. You know what a Mujaddid is? A Mujaddid is Allah who sends a renewer of faith. So Ghazali is considered by almost all people to be a Mujaddid. Shah Waliullah is considered to be the Mujaddid of India. He is the renewer of faith of the Indian subcontinent. He's like the Ghazali of India. He's quoted in many sites as well. So he writes a book, Al-Fawz al-Kabir fi Usul al-Tafsir. And what you can do is you can just, he has 6 themes, or 5 themes at the beginning, explanation of the 5 sciences. So he says that the Quran deals with 5 sciences. So what I like to do is take Ghazali and say this is his themes. Do you take Shah Waliullah Dahlawi? He has his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 themes here. And I also put in another article on here that speaks about no, I don't have to. Anyway, he has 5 themes. So you keep up with the names there. Ghazali, the first one, you got that book there. Fawz al-Kabir, Shah Waliullah Dahlawi. You don't have to read the whole book. I mean, it's like 100 pages, not too long. But he has 5 themes on page number 12. 5 themes on page number 12. Then Shah Waliullah ad-Dahlawi. Dahlawi means from what? What do you know? Where's Dahlawi from? Is Dahlawi Delhi? Dahlawi is Delhi. He's from Delhi. But he's a great scholar, not alive anymore. It's one of the news on it. Then another one which is fairly kind of prominent, is a modern scholar, is Fazl Rahman al-Ansari. Some of you know he writes Islam to the Modern Mind. He's a fairly contemporary scholar. He writes a book called The Major Themes of the Quran, and he has his themes that he has there. It appears to be 8 themes that he quotes. So this is Fazl Rahman al-Ansari. He's a contemporary scholar. It will be good to check him. So those are going to be the, what is this here? This one in Arabic, so it's a bit difficult to access that one. We'll make it do it next time. So those are just 3. So for 3 scholars, go home and just list down what are their themes, so you get the idea of what the scholars are saying about the whole theme of the Quran.
What was the title of the book of Imam Ghazali?
Imam Ghazali is in English is called Jewels of the Quran, but the Arabic is, I don't know if they mention the Arabic name here. Kitabu Jawahir al-Quran. Jawahir means from Jawhar. Jawahir means jewels of the Quran. So it's called Kitabu Jawahir al-Quran. The book of the jewels of the Quran. Okay. Next thing I'm going to discuss. Because a lot of people are questioning the way we teach nowadays, saying that all information is available. What are we doing still? But one of the things that you have to learn is you have to learn to navigate information. So you can have lots of information, Google something, but you don't know how to navigate sciences. So one of the things you have to learn is navigate sciences. The next time I'm discussing, it will take 5 minutes inshallah, is that we discussed what a linear atomistic tafsir is. What's a linear atomistic tafsir? Let me see if I have Ibn Kathir on here just to show you. Okay, I have 10 volumes here, Ibn Kathir. A linear atomistic tafsir is, it's not a criticism, it's just the style of writing, is that they will have a word and will have what's the meaning of ad-din, they explain what ad-din mean, and then the meaning of ibadah, and then the meaning of that. They go word by word, sentence by sentence, one by one, and you go through the whole Quran. That's why Ibn Kathir and most of the classical tafsirs are written. Then we spoke about, in class, we spoke about the more thematic based tafsir. So there are two resources I can point you to. Two resources. The one resource is the tafsir of Maududi. He's a famous scholar as well. He's a contemporary scholar. What I like about his tafsir, and obviously none of these scholars are also without whatever controversies or whatever they have, but I'm saying this value in their works, is he has a website called Quran Tafsir. Not he has one, someone put the website of him. So if you go to QuranTafsir.com or Quran, no, it's not this one here. No, it's not this one here. Let me see what is it. Tafsir English. Let me just check this quickly. Tafsir Maududi. And I gave you all the assignment. I hope you saw it. The last Dawrah worksheet. No. So Maududi here is called EnglishTafsir.com. So if you click on, for example, Surah Al-Baqarah, which is like the longest surah, what I like about his tafsir, not necessarily his tafsir himself, but the introduction, is that he will give you why the name, what about the name of the surah, why is the name that. Then he will speak to you about the sequence, in other words, where is the surah in terms of sequence of revelation. Then he will speak about the historical background. So beyond just saying Makki, Madani, he'll give you some context on the historical background. And then what I like about it is that he will take the theme, which is the overall theme of the surah, he will describe that. But then what I like is that, can you see the sections he does then? He will say 1 to 20 is about this, 21 to 29 is about this, 30 to 39 is about this. So you speak about the sections and the connections between the two. So there's also a useful resource, because you come into a long surah, you know what's happening in the surah. You can read 2 or 3 pages and you get a nice understanding of the surah. Because it's a useful resource that if you're looking at the Quran from a thematic point of view. Then I also WhatsApped you the thing about what's the diagrammatic thing? Diagrammatic thing, I think, eh? I don't know if it's here, Quran diagrammatic, yes. This one here. I WhatsApp this to you. So also this is, I don't know, obviously I haven't checked the quality of it, but I'm saying just it's useful resources. They also give you a theme, and they give you like a main theme and sub-themes and sections in between. It's also a useful tool, because the difficulty is you're going to, inshallah, be at Mizan, you'll come to a big surah, Anbiya, whatever, then you need to like first try to encapsulate the surah before you get verse for verse. Otherwise you get lost for 1 week, where am I now? You know, so it's good to have an overview first to know like where you are in terms of orientating yourself. The final one I'm going to show you is that, I don't know if you remember the names. Whose theory do we study in terms of coherence? In terms of, where is it? Okay, Farahi, and who is the student? Hamidin Farahi, and who is the student? Islah. You see, brothers? Dead silence here. What's happening here? What the? Okay, brothers, pay attention. Islahi. So we studied the theory now, what we did so far in terms of coherence and structures and themes and key points and how the ring composition. Many of these things are written by Farahi and Islahi. Now Islahi himself has a tafsir. Islahi himself has a tafsir. The only issue is that the tafsir is in Urdu. But the good news is that at least a few ajza have been translated. And his tafsir, I'll give it to you now, is called Tadabbur al-Quran. Well, I think it's so we go to, I think this is his, yes. So here basically, this can't be all of it. Because last time I checked, I didn't finish the whole Quran. Let's just take one surah quickly. What do you do in Shifaq? That's the Shaqqat. What do you do in class? Nazi'ati. Surah Nazi'ati. Because Father, I didn't finish the whole test. The whole one wasn't in English. So what I'm saying is that the author of the methodology has also written a full tafsir. So if you open Surah Al-Nazi'at, you will also deal with what? Central theme. Then you'll deal with an analysis of discourse, which is verse 1 to 5 is this, verse 6 to 14 is this. So it'll give you an overview of the surah as well. So this is useful, and the website for this is QuranWebsite.com. I think that should work. QuranWebsite.com. Yeah, it's the easy name to remember. QuranWebsite.com. So then I gave you, last thing at the end of this inshallah is I gave you an assignment to do. Hopefully you could get it from the table. Your assignment was, and you can take 2 weeks to finish it inshallah. 1 week is actually better anyway. You must choose any surah no shorter than 2 sides. You know what I mean? At least 2 sides long that you should choose. Write the name of the surah, write if it's Makki or Madani. Then write the portions and the theme, but don't just copy it from Maududi now or from, just also yourself apply your mind and see what you think about the surah, and then you write what you think the overall theme is. It's a personal, I think the theme is this, and then I want you to identify 5 micro features in the surah. So what I'm saying is, let's make page 1, okay, 5 micro features, in other words, word choice, grammatical shifts. I want you to identify 5 of them and say, here's a good word choice, here's a iltifat here, and so on, and explain them. And that's your assignment for 2 weeks time, inshallah. Inshallah. Okay. Last thing, just last thing is that we have posters here. So if you are able to take a poster to your masjid or madrasa or workplace, whatever the case is, please go to Nasreen now and she will give you posters and she will write down where you're able to take it, inshallah. And we'll see you next week. Barakallah. All of this I'll show you is online. It's on your lesson files for you to open, inshallah. Brothers too also, you're welcome to open it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.